Ohai. Narva-Jõesuu, the resort town in the northeast of Estonia in the county Ida-Virumaa. After administrative territorial reform of 2017, Narva-Jõesuu became the intra-municipal city and I entered into the municipality of the same name, Narva-Jõesuu. Bungerberg. The official name till 1921. Narva-Jõesuu. -1921-1923. From 1923 to 1928. The official Estonian name of Narva-Jõesuu. Narva-Jõesuu. Since 1928. Till present. It is located at confluence of the river Narva with the Narva Gulf, with 14 km to the north from the city of Narva. Height above sea level -23 meters. Resort extent on the riverbank 3.5 kilometers, along the Gulf -6 kilometers. Between constructions and coastal line, the strip of the sandy dunes overgrown with the pine forest lies. Climatic seaside resort. Summer moderately warm. Average temperature of July of 17 C. Winter soft. Average temperature of January of 7 C. Rainfall of 680 mm a year. The Melkapishani beach up to 10 km long, the biggest sea beach in Estonia. Content of mineral salts in sea water is insignificant, -0.5%. At the beginning of the 21st century, summer temperature strongly grew. There were even days when it reached 35 C. On August 7, 2010, in Narva-Jõesuu recorded temperature of +35.4 C. There was a July 2010 record-breaking warm month. His average temperature was +23.4 C. According to a population census of 2011, in Narva-Jõesuu 2632 persons, from them 340, 12.9%, Estonians lived. According to Department of Statistics, as of January 1, 2021, the number of residents made 2664 persons. In structure of the population of the city of 29.8% made faces at the age of 65 years, and the share of the population of persons aged up to 14 years inclusive -11.5%. 306 people. Is more senior. 794 people. As of February 1, 2007, in the city lived 3011 registered inhabitants, from them 76.2% Russians, 13.2% Estonians and 10.6% persons of other nationalities. From them citizens of Estonia -1604 people, 53.3%. Citizens of Russia -795 people, 26.4%. Persons without citizenship -555 people, 18.4%. Citizens of other states -57 people, -1.9%. Lutheran Church in Narva-Jõesuu. It is based, most likely, in the 14th century as the place of fishery of residents of the village of Kadrikula. Active trade in Narva, which, in turn, was seagate, contributed to the development of the settlement. At the beginning of the 16th century, fishery from Narva moved to Narva-Jõesuu. What it is mentioned in 1503 in the order of a Burmeister of the Livonian Award of Walter von Plettenberg. as owing to construction of fortress of Ivangut fishery is very much oppressed, it from the present has to be made at the mouth of the Narva River, in the high sea, and for this purpose on the land huts and lodges for drying of networks and a snare have to be under construction. This order is the first mention about Narva-Jõesuu. Later Germans began to call the settlement of Kungergam. During the Livonian War it received the Russian name Narva, which was later as again replaced with German Gungerberg, and in 1921 the settlement was renamed in Narva-Jõesuu. There is a legend according to which the name Gungerberg to the settlement was appropriated by the Tsar Piet I. At the beginning of Northern War he examined the mouth of the Narva River for the purpose of a construction of engineering constructions here. Having got hungry, he asked for locals to eat, but they were so poor they couldn't feed the Tsar. Then Piet I exclaimed, Gungerberg, what in translation from German means the hungry city. At the beginning of the Livonian War, 1558-1583, Narva was occupied by the Russian troops, and, for strengthening of protection of the city from the sea, in Narva one more wooden fortress in addition to already existing in the same place, on the right river bank of Narva was constructed. During this period there is an economic recovery of Narva due to activization of the Narva trade. In 1579 fortresses were burned by Swedes and the river included the Swedish fleet, having blocked a seaway to Narva. From 1581 to 1704 the city was under the power of Sweden. The end of the 16th century, the first half of the 17th century is characterized by decline of the Narva trade and, respectively, economic decline of Kungerberg. In the middle of the 17th century there was an activization of trade to Narva and rise of Gungerberg again. In 1646 in Gungerberg Constant Pilot Point was created. During Northern War, 1700-1721, the Russian troops built strengthenings and coastal batteries which closed Narva from the Swedish fleet in Gungerberg. After capture of Narva by the Russian troops there was a significant increase in a stream of merchant ships through Gungerberg. In the 19th century value of Narva, and together with it in Gungerberg as port not decreased. Shallowness of an estuarial part of Narva affected. Large vessels couldn't pass down the river, and because of sandy soil of the Narva Gulf during storm of Court broke from anchor parking. They carried out works on arrangement of the course of results didn't bring. At the end of the 19th century due to formation of the industry in Narva traffic flow through Gungerberg increased again. In 1838 Frenchman Jussin in Gungerberg constructed the first enterprise, the sewing plant which stopped the existence in 1849. The street. Petersburg merchants Godot and Ladotu in Gungerberg opened some more small enterprises for production of vinegar and paints which soon too stopped the existence. On military topographic maps of the Russian Empire of 1846-1863 the settlement is designated as Hungerberg. Since 1872 Gungerberg begins to develop as the housing estate and the resort. To the settlement the nobility of Street. Petersburg, Moscow, Kostroma and Yaroslavl directed. Actively country construction developed. In 1882 it was constructed which burned down in 1910. In 1876 the first balneary, in 1902 the second was constructed. In 1909 the sanatorium was constructed. At the beginning of the 20th century in Gungerberg the forest area which later became the park was allocated. In 1912 it was constructed new, designed by the famous street Petersburg architect M.S. Lyalevich. Those years regular steamship communication with St. Petersburg was established. At the end of the beginning of the 20th century on the beach of Gungerberg special cabins in which bathers were carried to the sea for bathing became fashionable. Cabins were adapted also for disguise. At first this service was rendered by means of horses, further men began to render this service. The service was paid, therefore only wealthy girls and women used it. In 1917 the resort received the status of the settlement, in 1934 became one of the districts of Narva, in 1945 again the settlement, and in 1993 received the status of the city. During the Great Patriotic War the settlement was almost completely destroyed, including in port constructions. In 1950-1960 there was a restoration of the resort. Holiday houses and sanatoria were built near the camp. The settlement became an all-union health resort. Also the industry developed, the fishing and ship repair enterprises were constructed. In the 1980th years in Narva-Jõesuu about 2,000 people at average of inhabitants had annually arrest about 3,800 people. In 1991, after declaration of independence of Estonia and introduction of a visa regime with Russia, the flow of tourists sharply decreased that affected resort economy. Since 2007 the flow of tourists in Narva-Jõesuu began to grow gradually. Construction of hotels was resumed. Tourism and sites. Narva-Jõesuu offers tourists about 400 locations, including in sanatorium of Narva-Jõesuu, Marina Hostel and in other hotels. Medical services are rendered only in sanatorium. Before a resort season of 2008 in the spring, businessmen from Tallinn opened a 11-story spa hotel of Narva-Jõesuu Spa and Hotel in Narva-Jõesuu. Other large investors also have plans for construction of tourist objects in the city. In 2014 on the coast on the place of the former International Tourist Center, Nura Sputnik, the spa hotel of Nura Spa Hotel, offering to guests placement in 114 modern rooms in service of level 4 stars opened. An hotel the largest settles down in northeast Estonia, the water and bathing center including 12 various baths, 3 certain pools and a set of a jacuzzi. In 2017 large-scale reconstruction concerned Liverand Hotel. After repair she replaced the name with Liverand Spa Hotel, having become a part of Nura Spa Hotel. Construction of aquapark between hotels is planned for the next years. In Tukame to the southwest from city boundaries there is the only official nudist beach in Estonia. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.